What a difference a debt makes. Again. I'm finding this out again. Last time that it was very clear and apparent was when my husband was getting ready to get out of the military and we were figuring out what we were going to do. And it turned out that the plans that we had made when we very first got married, which were to go back home to California and settle down near family, were just not going to be possible right now because of the debt and moving costs and all this stuff. So we had kind of decided to downsize our house so we could cut rent and then pay off our debt faster and stuff. Well, that was kind of when we were counting on him getting this one particular job at the same place that he was stationed at, just a civilian job. So our income should not have changed and we could have just kept on track. But they actually filled that job before he got out of the military, so it just didn't happen for us. And it's been unbelievably hard for him to find a job in town or in neighboring towns. The problem is that my husband's a sonar tech. So that doesn't really translate very easily into the civilian sector. You know, like people in the military, they'll be doctors in the military, so you can be a doctor in civilian life, or you can work with computers, and you can work with computers in civilian life, or you could be a cook in the military, you can be a cook in civilian life. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of jobs that directly transfer, but he's a sonar guy, so really the only thing that directly transfers into civilian life would be like an ultrasound tech, which there's a degree involved that he doesn't have, and other stuff with underwater stuff like he was doing, but for civilian companies, which would require relocation, and we're back to the beginning about not really being able to move. So he moved on to just any part-time job, because we figured with retirement, my part-time job, and if he got an equal part-time job to mine, we would be okay. It would slow us down, but we would be alright. But I mean, it's such a cliche that you hear all the time, but he is overqualified to run a cash register or to work at a restaurant, or, you know, he's been like applying to anything that's in our town or in, you know, the neighboring towns. And I think there's a Petco coming into town. He applied for anything that hasn't heard back. And I think it all comes down to because they keep saying he's overqualified. It's like, are you serious? Oh, it's kind of frustrating. So we're kind of at the crossroads where it's like, all right, we need to do something and do something now because of this debt. Because the truth is, his retirement pay will cover our rent and some utilities. And then my part-time paycheck cover food and gas, and then the other utilities that aren't covered by his retirement pay. So all of our current income would cover very basic living expenses. We could sit here in our house with our lights on and eat okay, not go very far because gas is expensive, but you know, we could survive perfectly well until a good job came along for him, or until he got the qualifications to translate his military job to civilian life. But then we have this ginormous debt, and we need to make income to pay this debt off. You know, I can't just say, sorry Lisa, we have no job. So we have decided to use his GI Bill. The GI Bill is what the military members earn to pay for their college after they get out of the military. And my husband was in 20 years, so he has earned full benefits of the post 9/11 GI Bill, which is different than the Montgomery GI Bill in that you can transfer it to your spouse or your children. And how it's supposed to work is that they will pay for your tuition, you know, for you to go for your 4 years of school, and if you go full time, you get basic allowance for housing, because you're supposed to just be able to focus on your school and get your post-military degree and then go off and get your real-life job. Which I honestly wish that my husband could do, but because of this debt, he has transferred half of his GI Bill to me, and so we are both going to school full-time so that we can both collect the basic allowance for housing at the same time. And that is what is actually pulling us through at the moment, because it's still just the 4 years or whatever it is. It's, you know, X amount of days, and so since we're both using up the days at the same time, you know, the days are just getting used up faster. So it's not like he's getting double GI Bill, it's the same benefit that he earned, but we are using it twice as fast, which really sucks, and I really feel bad about that for him. But we got this debt, we gotta pay it off. And it really sucks for me, because now it's like I have two jobs. I have my job during the day, and then I go to school at night, and then outside of school, if you actually follow the recommended, I think it's, what, 2 hours per credit hour that you're supposed to study, that's another 30 hours outside of school, and I'm supposed to be focusing on school. So it really feels like I have a second job, and it sucks. I have no time for very much. I feel like I have no time for my son, and that makes me feel really, really guilty, because he's a junior and he's gonna be a senior next year, and I feel like I'm gonna miss out on his last real year as a kid, you know? And it's all because of this stupid debt. But hopefully he is seeing how hard I'm working, how hard his dad's working for us to pay it off, and he will never be in this situation. I'm really hoping that we are changing our family tree, as Dave likes to say, by being on this getting out of debt journey, and with him watching and including and learning so that he does not make the same mistakes that we made, and he gets to enjoy his children when he has some. Oh, my battery is dying, so I need to cut it off there. Just letting you guys know that's how we have, for the moment, solved our income issue. And holy crap, do I hate debt even more right now. I hope you guys are doing great on your journeys.